Hi, everybody. Welcome. Team, I can't see the numbers of attendees, so if you could just give me the thumbs up that we're good to go.
Okay, Judy, we're still letting people in. It seems like we have 6 people in the room. If we can give it a minute or two, then you can get started.
Sibu and Tim, if you could just keep an eye on the comment section for me or any questions.
Will do, Judy.
Thanks. Okay, I think should we get started? We can just let people in as they arrive. Sometimes it takes a minute or two to connect. Welcome everybody. I think this is our third in the series of the BPESA Future Skills platform-led webinars. Today, I'm going to take the opportunity just to talk to you a little bit around the content curation that the Cornerstone Edcast platform allows or enables, and some of the tips and tools and techniques, and some of the how-tos. So for those of you who are new to the BPESA Future Skills platform, and to me, my name is Judy Robertson, and I'm the lead content architect for the BPESA Future Skills Learning Experience platform. We've been working on this project for over a year now, with the intention of creating accessibility to learning digital skills, work readiness skills, sector skills, and in-demand skills to a large population of unemployed youth, as well as professionals within our sector and related sectors. We kicked off and went live in May last year and have significantly increased and hopefully improved the content available on the platform as we have scaled and expanded. And we've engaged, I think, with many of you, and in particular with many in the sector, for youth development, skills development, and sustainable team leader development, for example. So welcome to today's session. The Cornerstone Edcast Learning Experience Platform is exactly that. It's a learning experience platform, which is differentiated from a learning management system. I'm going to go through some of the terminology and some of the tools and techniques and some of the use cases, but please, let's keep it organic. So just pop up a hand, or if there's a question, we'll leave some time at the end, but you might have a question to ask or an example to share. So please do so throughout the session. So the difference between your learning experience platform and your learning management system, sorry, let me just get this out of our way, is that your learning experience platform is very much a content curation and content amalgamation, as opposed to the design of specific content from scratch using rapid authoring tools like an Adobe Suite, for example. So the content, the learning experience platform is there for employers and learning professionals to enable a quick, easy, accessible, creative set of tools and access to content libraries to either use fit-for-purpose standardized content libraries that already exist, or to create your own, or to co-create them, or for your own users to generate content and share, whether it's on an individual, organizational, or team level. So I've had the benefit of working with the Edcast team, Cornerstone Edcast team, and this team for, as I say, on 18 months now, and you keep learning as you're going. So I think the first step around content curation is there's always more to learn, and there's always more tools and techniques, and there's always more scale to their application in your design and development of learning. So if we just briefly look at what are some of those best practice tips? So many of you will know that Cornerstone Edcast is one of the largest and most used learning management and learning content platforms in the world. It is used very much in multinational, national organizations, and has significant partnerships with very high level, high order content partners. You can partner with anybody you like using this platform, because it is that easy to pull in their content. We have the likes of Harvard University content. We have the likes of NASCOM, BPO specific content. We have the likes of currently We Think Code are partnering with us on the development of software developers. Wazi are similar, developing with us in terms of mentored and coached experiential learning in the ICT sector. We have numerous partners. We have Namisa, who's come on board and enabling our learners access to the full Microsoft Office training. We have AWS in terms of cloud-based computing. We have Cisco in terms of networking. And then, of course, we have the EdCast 10 by 10 channels specifically for professional and emerging technology skills. And then, of course, all the bespoke curated content by ourselves in collaboration with you, our partners, our stakeholders, and other top providers in and around the world. There really is no limit to the content you can pull into and curate on the platform. And that's what has made it quite easily accessible and scalable for our projects that have an intention of servicing the master plan and creating your 500,000 jobs in our 2030s. So just some tips which would apply to any platform that you're using, and I will go into the platform shortly. Really, you need to understand your audience. That's critical. You need to always use a variety. Let me just put this into slideshow for you. A variety of content and content formats to keep the interest of your learners. We need to curate high quality content, organize content efficiently, logically and intuitively. We need to understand how people's learning styles, what their preferences are, what their conditions and circumstances are. I'm going to go into each of these in a little detail as we go through. Collaborative learning has significant power. So we encourage the use of collaboration on the platform, getting your users or your subject matter experts to create their own content, to have peer-to-peer learning, visual classroom type coaching sessions. It's really important to create a community of learning in your organization or your environment. And the platform is really well placed to do that for you. We have to have a robust content management process. As you know, today and tomorrow is already changing. So we have to ensure that the content that is on the platform is constantly updated, checked, refreshed, retired, or replaced. So that is something that is an ongoing daily activity and exercise for your curation team. We need to, of course, monitor and analyze how our learners are doing, how they're progressing through their learning content that's been assigned to them, or learning content that is that they are consuming or assigned to themselves. And we need to monitor that progress and report on it, because as in any learning and development space or sphere, you are going to want to have some level of understanding and critical data around the return on your expectation or investment of the time and the effort, as well as the cost of such a solution. You need to seek feedback from your learners constantly, and of course also your stakeholders, and use this for data reporting and analytics. And what's really key is that the LXP does have a significant Google Looker reporting tech tool, and I think we have our data analyst on the call. You can take some questions a little later on around the level and ability of reporting. There is a specific category of reporting on content called content analytics, and that gives us a fairly good indication of how content is performing on the platform in terms of its completion rates, in terms of its popularity, etc., in terms of your learner comments and in terms of our evaluations. So just to understand your audience is really important. When we kicked off our MVP of this platform, the audience was GBS, BPO sector, young people that we had garnered support for in terms of funded access to the platform, who required work readiness skills and BPO specific work readiness skills to be given to them via a blended learning methodology. And these were young people that were either just entering or about to enter the world of work for the first time, or very recently entered the world of work. And we had to devise a curricula for them that was fit for purpose in terms of content, level of content, nature of content, ability level, likely ability level of audience, the considerations around access to devices, access to technology, technological capability to learn digitally, capability to have place and space to learn, as well as then to blend that with in-house learning and development teams and trainers who then utilize the tool as a blended methodology in their classroom to enhance their teaching, to enhance access to content, and to enhance access to assessments, and the ability to have world-class at their fingertips content that they could share with their learners in their environment. So this is really important. And what we found is that was quite a big ask, because although it's a similar sector and it's a similar level of young people, the generic wasn't the order of the day. Every organization has its own culture and its own value system, has its own ways and means of teaching or learning or creating experiential opportunities, has different domains of expertise, has different service lines, has different ratios in their organizations. And we found that we started building out tailor-made journeys per organization for their work readiness candidates. And that became quite a large task, one of which would not have been possible if we didn't have the easy access and accessible tools that the LXP provides to quickly, rapidly check, source, curate, and design learning journeys that are relevant and interactive for young people, and useful and support tools for facilitators and coaches at the same time. So what we've done over the last 18 months is have an M&E monitoring and evaluation process underway that has a look at what's worked, what hasn't worked, because as in any platform launch, things are going to work and things are not going to work. What do we do more of, less of, differently? And we constantly apply that using the data that can so strongly be pulled in from our data analytics tools on the platform to change, to upgrade, to redirect, to refresh. And so since our onset, our audience has grown significantly. We have had funded programs in the space of more generic or higher level digital upskilling. So in this instance, we have to create learning journeys for organizations who want to upskill their current workforce in the future world of work, in digital capabilities, everything ranging from artificial intelligence just to how to use meeting and or collaboration tools on different platforms. And within the context of the organization and within the amount of learning time made available in the organization, and with the access to devices and data and related circumstances. So one thing I can say, having a very small content curation team, is that is all possible because of the ability and the flexibility and the agility of the platform, and also because of a deep sense of connection with our partners and our stakeholders and our learners around what is it that you really need, what is going to shift your personal or professional performance style, what way would you like to consume the content, in what rhythm would you like to consume the content, and in what modality are you going to consume your content. And what innovations can we put in place to facilitate any of those areas that the monitoring and evaluation have kicked up to show could be possible challenges and or opportunities. And I'll go into that in a little bit later in the presentation around what are some of the innovations that we have come up with to address some of the gaps that we have found in our first year of operation, based on potentially a global and shared trait of low levels of engagement on purely digital self-led learning. It's a global phenomenon, and there are a lot of innovative ways in which the team have applied global solutions for that. There are a range of competency-based identifiers, gap analyses, and AI-generated tools that we've been able to embed to facilitate individualized learning journeys. So all of these things have come from having a solid and authentic ear for what our audiences need and what our audiences want, and what supports our audiences in their learning. So we have really a variety of content formats. I think if you can think it and dream it, it's there. Because if it's not easily done on the platform, it is easily imported into the platform. So we can pull in content that is in an article format, that is in a video format, that is in a podcast format. There's project cards where you can design your own projects for your learners to complete. There's my guides, which help train systems and how to follow processes and systems and facilitate you on the platform and or in any of your software types of learning requirements. There's content formats that can be uploaded. You can upload PDF documents. You can upload questionnaires. You can embed links. You can upload SCORM folders. You can upload PowerPoints. There really is a range of content aspects, which when created or integrated into a learning path or journey, creates quite an interactive and diverse set of learning tools that meet all those requirements we discussed a little earlier around understanding your learner. There's integrated assessment platforms like Mittel. Mittel comes within your license for FSP, which to me is probably such a significant, one of the most significant value adds of the platform, in that you have psychometric access to psychometric, cognitive, skill-based, typing speed, attention to detail, contact center intro, management potential assessments. They are all in Mittel, and many of them are included at no cost into the learning journeys. So that is a great opportunity for people that are working on the platform, and I'm starting to use them more and more extensively because of the value contribution to create a self-awareness amongst the learners, but as well as an awareness in their stakeholders and employer space as to where their gaps are, where their interests are, where their preferences are, to really help either make selection decisions for further development or promotion, but also to enable them to tailor, target the learning more. And that's done automatically on the platform by its AI generated content or machine curated content as well, but enables the teams within the organizations or individuals to do so as well. So all of this is available to those that are managing, supervising these types of reports, the learners. So for your information, that will be there. So just wanted to click. Let's see if this is going to take me in. Just want to, I'll come back to that shortly. I don't want to get things confused. Yeah, quick. Move you along, come down to the bottom. So how do we curate high quality content? So what's really important here is that the value lies in the heart, in the quality of the content. And the quality of content, it's almost like anything, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So quality in, quality out. It's what you have as your base ingredients of your recipe for success is the content. And content has to be relevant. It has to be up to date. It has to be something that engages an interest. It has to be something that is going to facilitate learning. And these are all important things. And what's fortunate and beneficial is that a lot of the content is already curated on the platform, and I'll explain to you how that has happened. And a lot of it is easily curatable by your own learning and development teams, yourselves, your subject matter experts as well. So the content is either, I would say, man or woman curated or machine curated. So it's machine curated as well as curated by the team, by your subject matter experts, and it's globally recognized content. And it's very exciting to be able to just explain to you what access you will have via this platform in terms of content partnerships and how this feeds into tips for curation. So one of the tips for curation, you remember, was have varied types and amounts of content in a learning journey. Now, all of us know that our current environment means we need to be upskilled, reskilled, multi-skilled. We all need to up our digital skills. We all need to up our data understanding and analytics skills. We all need to update our emotional quotient and related skills, and at the same time, develop a technical subject matter expertise in our area, an art for working with people, and a ever-changing environment that we have to connect with. So we need to be able to have content and content partners that are equally agile and change robust. So the project kicked off with NASCOM and sharing their 10 by 10 professional channels. Now, NASCOM, as many of you all know, if you are in the BPO sector or the GBS sector, is the Indian equivalent to BPESA. India being the largest and most successful track record in business processing outsourcing, has a very, very strong professional body, a representative body that develops demand-led skills and qualifications and sector-endorsed learning outcomes and certifications for the sector. So the relationship between BPESA and NASCOM is a really, really good one, and everybody learns from each other's best practices. So when we kicked off the program, we had a NASCOM 10 by 10 channel, which really is 10 professional skills channels, the top 10 professional skills needed in today's market, and particularly in the sector and the services sector that we're in, and 10 channels that were around emerging technologies, the likes of cloud computing, artificial intelligence, robotics, cybersecurity, and the like. And I will take you through those shortly to have a look, see what that is. We also have EdCast machine-curated content. So there's a very, very strong engine at the back of the Cornerstone EdCast that pulls in relevant content to the topics and the focus areas on the platform, and topics that are shared in common amongst probably all of the Cornerstone clients' interest areas, that then comes in, and then our team will then curate that content to say, yes, we think it's relevant, or no, we don't think it's relevant, or yes, it's relevant, but not in this channel, maybe in another channel, or you know what, it's relevant in both. And when you continuously curate the machine content, then the machine learns, and very often you'll start seeing more and more very bespoke content coming into your profile or your platform through machine learning. The professional channels I've spoken to you about. So there's professional channels that have been already curated for us, things like communication skills, personal development, high-performing teams, leadership development, emotional wellness, decision-making, problem-solving, design thinking, you name it. They're already established, curated. So it's not that we have to go and find bits and pieces to create our own journeys in key areas or topics. They do exist there already. We may find, and we do, from that need to tailor a target for our organizations and clients, is that they might want a portion of that, or they might want it all, or they might want it at a higher level of complexity or competence, or a lower level of complexity or competence. And in that instance, then we either curate from that content into a new learning journey, or we work with you to create your own content as a blend into that learning journey. We also have something I'm very excited with, which helps significantly. If any of you have tried to curate content around Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Microsoft BI, Outlook, you've probably spent hours online pulling together your YouTube videos or having to purchase content at quite a significant price. And then it's also usually not necessarily that well tied together. There's great content out there. Believe me, I've had to curate it for the platform previously. But we have an agreement in place with NMISA, which is the public technology specialist in terms of education. And we now have a Microsoft Academy on the platform. So we have direct access for our learners and users to the Microsoft suite of learning programs and training, at no fee to the licensed user. The only fee with all of these, as in Microsoft or AWS or Excite, a cybersecurity partner that we have on board, is that should you wish to get the professional certification, that cost would be at your own or the employer cost. But you get through to the point of completing the course and being given your certificate of completion. If you want the official Microsoft, Cisco, AWS stamp of approval, then of course that would come as in any micro certification with professional partners at their market-related global fee. But you could put yourself and all your colleagues or learners through any and all Microsoft training that they may need to the fullest extent using the Microsoft Academy, and similar with Cisco. What I'm finding is really great here for job readiness is that Cisco has a wonderful model on computer hardware. That content we're always looking for when somebody hasn't worked on a PC before. And then, of course, Microsoft kicks in with the Office tools and collaboration tools and cloud solutions. And then Cisco also with its networking, etc. So we often forget the support services in our industry, like the IT technicians, and we focus on forward-facing consumer customer relationship skills only. And there's just such a huge variety of opportunities and careers and skills in the sector and beyond. And you'll see there's a very big focus on digital skills. We have just developed the first digital skills framework 1 aligned work readiness program, which we are looking to launch fairly shortly. And that just ensures that our digital work readiness skills, from how to access a digital device, to transacting digitally, to creating content digitally, to understanding privacy digitally, is being covered in work readiness and digital upskilling aspects. All of this has been created by the use of the content, the platform's ability to create, curate, collaborate, and partner on world-class content. So the curation team can also source content via RSS feeds or links. So if there is a particular resource you use often, like I love to use the contact center helper. It has got such great video and article information. I also like to use McKinsey for my leadership management and global trends in the world of work. The Harvard Business School. You sites like your CRMs, your HubSpots, all of these, they've got amazing educational resources that you can guide into the platform. And then your SME and user-generated content. So the platform has a specific capability to set up a subject matter expert, and they can set up their own channel. And those subject matter experts can then engage with your team on a regular basis, or you can just select to follow the subject matter experts. So you might find, so we've created a learning professional group on the platform, and I update that with Training Today, ASTD, all of the big learning and development content hubs. And then our professional learning and development teams in our sector can go on there and they can follow that group, for example, or they can contribute to that group as a subject matter expert. So we're building a community of learning here, which is something really special and very effective, and allows us all to leverage off of each other's knowledge, skill, and experience to build the skills and to be able to scale. I'll pause there for a minute. Are there any questions? All good? So I know you're all dying to see the platform, so I'm going to show that to you shortly. I just want to get through some of the tips. So what I'm explaining is, if you go and you search, what are the things I need to know or understand or do well when I'm doing content curation on an LXP. These are the things that will come up. And also these tools and guides come from your providers like a Cornerstone and an Edcast, who have been in this space for many, many years and are the leaders in learning, design, development, and curation. So it's really a pleasure to be able to share this. I mean, I had to learn while doing, and in my career, I've been in L&D senior director roles, and it was quite an interesting shift in mindset and skill ability for me to move from managing teams of instructional designers to becoming one myself. And quite a learning curve later on in your career, but what an amazing and rewarding one. And I'm learning every day. And I have such newfound respect for the content creators that used to work with me in my team, and I value them so much, and I learned so much from them. But what is nice about the ongoing innovation in the space of content curation and learning experience platforms is that it truly does make it so much easier to access and create high-end, quality, accessible, relevant content just in time, if I could say that. So your design principles really it's got to be user-centered. This is directly from the Cornerstone guidelines for us. And you'll see it's very similar to what I mentioned earlier. So users have to have a choice, all right? They have to be able to select what content they want, what media they want to use, and what mode best suits them. Do they want to listen to something? Do they want to see something? Do they want to note something? Do they want to have small chunks? Do they want to have long exposure? Do they want to blend it? Do they want it digital? And this type of learning design experience enables you to do that. Just a quick FYI, and I think I put it on one of my slides. I put like a little circle around the age of the podcast. We were watching, I was fortunately exposed to one of the leaders in the design of AI-led learning, or the impact of AI on learning. And one of the interesting stats that popped out of there is that podcasts are the most commonly used, favored, and preferred method of learning today. So for those of you who are podcast lovers, awesome. For those of you who are curating content, use podcasts. Podcasts work particularly on a platform where there's both visual and hearing ability, and people get engrossed in them, and it's quick and easy to learn anywhere and everywhere. So I just thought I'd share them. I thought it would be something different, but it was podcasts as the top performer. Flexibility, users want to consume their content when and how. Purpose, users can consume content that suits their learning and performance goals. So you'll see when I go into the platform, as you log into your platform, everybody has 3 choices of what key areas of learning they want to take on board. And those can be updated quite regularly. But what that does is it trains the machine. All right. So your specified learner choices means that machine curated content will push content of that to you. So it's the Netflix of learning. I know that sounds a little, what's the word? Overused, but essentially that is how it works at the back end. Purpose, you can consume content that suits your learning and performance goals. So we've had an example of, please, can you develop a learning program for the future of work ambassadors in the public sector in South Africa? And they come from all divisions, from forestry, from parliament, from province, from city, from local municipality, from the Department of Electricity, you name it. They've come from everywhere. But we want a leadership development program that's going to enable them to be future fit for the future environment, which means an upskill in digital literacy in these areas, an upskill in professional skill in those areas. And we want them to be able to consume this content with these outputs in this way over this duration of time. And that is something that we very successfully were enabled to do in terms of that. And again, just one of the key areas of a tip for curation: stay close to your clients, stay close to your learner, understand what the context they're in. There was, I think, 50 young people on that program, and they were all in a different context and a different space and a different place and a different level. And you needed to understand that to keep them engaged in their learning journey and employ some innovation to do so. And that we did, and we'll go through that with you. Obviously, curiosity, you've got to keep people interested. And that's why sharing content with each other, assigning new content to people, liking content, it's very social media principle based. And it does pique the curiosity, and new notifications will pop up and get you to extend your learning. So the design principle, of course, we want to make it reusable. If you want to have a life as a content developer, develop reusable learning assets. Otherwise, you'll start from scratch over and over again. So yes, there's bespoke and there's generic, but design your assets in such a way that those can be easily tailored and not have to be done from scratch. And that's something the platform has allowed me to do quite a lot. If you think around it, that our content team is literally 2 of us, and we've had to roll out work readiness across at least 8 or 9 different employers with different focus areas in 1 year with big numbers. Reusable learning assets is your key. All right. Ones that at the core are stable, but that can be tailored and targeted and uplifted where needed. Common guidelines. These are designed to service all users and streams of users. So one thing, are you sure that your user knows how to navigate the platform? Are you sure they know that they've got to click complete when they've done their module? Are you sure they understand how to do their assessments or their evaluations? and what expectations are. So when you're designing content, it's not just about the thematic content, it's also designing a way of interacting with your learner that is a good describer, a good explainer, and a good guide throughout their learning experience, and also obviously to direct and guide them to where those help resources are for them, which we do through the My Guide that I was speaking about earlier. Deep skilling, of course, all structured content leads to deep skilling. So deep skilling is where you take it that level next. So as I mentioned, we might have a work readiness program, and within that work readiness program or leadership program, we know that this particular agent is going to be dealing on a campaign that services a American or UK or Australian market, and that although we want them to be work ready, we also need them to be conscientized around the culture and the languaging and the generic terminology and the nature of the client or the nature of the sector. So then you can develop something that's at a deeper level. Or you want them to develop a deep sense of resilience and or reflection, and you build your content around daily reflections or peer-to-peer learning or interactions with your facilitator. There's depth in many different ways, but that's deep skilling, and you can layer that and build that and space your learning and allow for reflection and allow for accessing different types and versions of learning throughout that process. Unorphaned content is housed in all appropriate content containers for discovery and ease of access. So when you're designing content, make sure if somebody's looking for it, that they can find it easily. So you've put in the correct tags, you've tagged it with the correct skills, and you've put it in the right place on the platform or places on the platform. Okay. All right, so your sources of content, make sure that you've got good quality sources of content, that it's valid, that you've referenced it if it needs to be referenced, that you've ensured that it's coming from a good, safe place, that you're not putting any risks in there. So the source of content we have, fortunately, are all, as I said, most of them have come with the solution from very reputable sources. And there are built-in quality assurance techniques for content in the platform. And then, of course, you have your layer of your own content curation processes to get access to good content or exclude content that's not of relevance. There is filters for any type of harmful content that would not be allowed on the platform, of course. So relevance of topics, they have to be relevant. It must be relevant to the industry, profession. These are really generic things, but it's always important. Sometimes we find something and you go down a rabbit hole as a content developer and you find it fascinating, but it's not that fascinating for the audience or that group. So that's quite important to keep relevant. Relevance, I find, for me, speaks to employer endorsed outcomes. They must not just be learning about sales and service, for example. They must be learning about sales and service in the context they're going to be doing it with a learning outcome that the employer would otherwise have had to train them themselves. Okay, so it's important that we have that mindset when we are designing. Are we curating content that's interesting and entertaining? Or are we creating content that is imparting an awareness, a knowledge, or a skill? Okay. And then duration of the assets, the ideal duration of smart cards. We've got a standard content asset time frame we put on now, purely because of the size of the team, but any asset should not be more than 2 years old. And generally, if we're pulling in new assets, we like it to be 6 months or less. However, there are some things that are time honored. I was looking up the leadership pipeline the other day. I mean, that's certainly more than 2 years old. Concepts are amazing, but then I look up for the latest version of that, for the latest commentary on that, for the latest YouTube videos on that, as opposed to going to the original source. It's obviously the source, but the original assets from way back when. Okay, tagging. You've got to tag your content really well so that you can find it. And you get evergreen content, which is content that sound academically and will always be there. So that, for example, the leadership pipeline is evergreen academic content. Something like learning evaluation styles by Kirkpatrick, or motivation by Maslow or Peter Drucker's other work. These are things that are evergreen. So you look for more updated, refreshed versions of it, but that is your evergreen asset. And it's assets that come from your partners that have been vetted, and obviously assets that have been validated by your subject matter experts. Those are assets that you can just keep using. Retiring shelf life. This includes assets that feature promotional material. So one of the things that I find when I'm working with machine generated or created content is a lot of editorial stuff comes in. So yes, you might find a really great article or video or piece of learning around the Azure platform, or around a CRM or around dialer systems for that matter, if you're in the BPO sector. Try and extract the content if it's in an advertorial and reference the content and use it, as opposed to letting advertorials run wild. Okay. Assets must have a specific shelf life, and shelf life is to be determined by the BPESA team. So let's say, for example, you are teaching the basic conditions of Employment Act, and there's a significant change in the nature of that legislation, and it's due to change significantly in 6 months' time, then the shelf life of your existing content is 6 months, and you have to upload the new content. So people are not learning dated content. Okay. And then promotion. If there's really good content assets that are doing really well and performing really well, or assets that you want people to use, then you promote them. So you like them or you share them. So the more you like or share content, or the more you send engagement campaigns around that content, the more that content is promoted. And in organizations where there's a particular messaging skill or values that you want to keep having reinforced, then we promote content assets for you. And you can put in place, as you see, as your own curation team, what your standards would be for these. When we say, is your content performing or not, we look at things like, is it popular? Have users finished it? Has it been completed? Is it contributing to higher rates in pre and post assessments? And then when we do our content analytics, we will retire non-performing content and keep performing content and replace with better content where necessary. Okay, so I'm wanting to really just get you to the platform. So you'll see the content assets. This is the structure. You start with a smart card that you can create. You then cluster into a pathway, which is a learning pathway. If it's a big piece of learning, you can take a whole number of pathways and create a journey. And those can all be made up by own content, SME content, content partners, for example, a Cisco learning journey, a Microsoft learning journey, our own content, the future skills content, and related. And all of these are then placed like channels on your Netflix screen, where you can go and select your key or favorite topic, or are directed to that because of your mandatory learning that's been assigned to you. And that's where you'll access that information. Okay. So let's just check quickly. Well, I was struggling earlier, sorry, to get out of the. There we go. So just to give you a quick view of the platform. So this is, for example, your TV screen, your Netflix screen. This is something that we call a channel. And then within your channel, you would have topic or theme directed content. Context and strawberries, understanding, business communication, business for all. And then within these, you would have open source content that's pulled through. You would have journeys and cards, etc. Okay. Yeah, you would have your subject matter experts that are contributing. And at the bottom here, you'll see some of the world-class content providers that pull through. AWS, Flipboard, Stanford Business, Excite, Tech Republic, McKinsey, Josh Bersin, my favorite, Content Marketing, HBS, World of Work, MIT, Course Center Help, etc. And we put more and more on, and you can add any recommended natural content pull through that you like. But I just want to show you quickly, because we are talking around content curation, right? I see a hand. Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Judy. Apologies for interrupting. It seems like our audience can't see your screen. I'm also not seeing it. It's PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, hang on. It might
me share.
be because, okay, thank you for letting me know. Give me a sec. I just want to share my, sorry, man. Tell me when you can see.
Yes, I can see it. Please confirm that you can see Judy's screen, everyone.
Okay.
Thumbs up, so I think it's
Cool. So as I was saying, sorry for that, that you have, these would be like your channels. Okay, you can see our welcome, our user guides, and then your topic based. So if you were thinking around the Netflix, it's your genre, right? So here's your drama, and here's your murder mystery, and here's your documentary, all of those lovely things. And inside you will have a pathway, smart cards, pathway journeys. Okay, and you can select your channel that you would like to go into. These are the emerging professional skills. We have creative problem solving, continuous learning. Oh, sorry, it's going a bit fast there. Effective communication, innovation, design thinking, project management, digital leadership, collaboration, teamwork, influencing, project management, program management. And then these are the new ones that I'm about to release: agile working, expert curation, HR and L&D, and personal development. This was a very popular one. And then in terms of your emerging tech, we have artificial intelligence, big data, cloud computing, cyber, robotics, augmented reality, blockchain, Internet of Things, 3D printing, modeling, etc. And then in addition, we have a Microsoft Academy, our Cisco Academy, and our AWS Academy. And then these would be your subject matter experts on any particular topic that you want to create. And then these are also what I was flipping through earlier, which is your key content partners that pull through to your channel. But to show you how we would, let's have a look quickly at a quick machine curation. So let's say, for example, something everybody likes now. Where's my AI? Artificial intelligence. You'll see I, as a curator, now have the opportunity to curate. So if I want to curate the machine generated content, I click on curate. And it should pull in all of the content that has, this happens every few hours, that has been machine generated for that channel. And then I accept or reject that content. Sorry, I'm not sure why it's hanging, but. All right, so well, that seems to be pulling it all in. I should have pulled it in earlier. Let's have a look at how quick and easy it is to curate. So if I go to myself, okay, and I go, okay, I want to, let's first do profile. So as a learner, you'll have a profile, and in there you will list the key topics of interest to you. See what I'm interested in. And then you will get machine generated content that comes through to you for your specific interests. Okay. This is all the badges, the kinds of content you have already completed. And that a lot of the content is micro badged. And then you will have the dashboard of what learning you've completed. You'll also have learning that's been assigned to you. In other words, somebody has, you've either assigned something to yourself or somebody has assigned it to you, the things that you need to complete. And this is how your learners will know what information they have to complete. And then you also, as a curator, have the ability to create your own content. So you'll see I've been a busy girl. I'm creating the content. Let's take, for example, Microsoft content. So here's I've created Microsoft a content card, and this will become available to the group that I am adding it in. Oh, sorry, let's go to the training portal itself. There we go. This would be your training that you get from Microsoft. You can see some of the examples, Master Microsoft Teams, and this would be curated into a learning pathway for you. If we go to content, let's see if this is just what I've been looking through. Microsoft 365, Azure, but there's also the basics of Microsoft, basics of MS Word, PowerPoint, etc. And any of this content is then available. Oh, sorry, it's just down for me. Is available for you in your learning portal. Let me just go back. Our links. This is something interesting. We're working with Rethink Code, and one of the critical areas for them is how to prepare their young people for interviews for software jobs. So we went and we created with them and their assistants, because they had some of their own content. What is Rethink Code about? Helpful tips when preparing for your software development interview. And there's a combination of content where we have interview skills, which is a text-based. Sorry. We have what is your greatest weakness when you get asked that question in an interview? I don't know why they still ask it, but they do. How to best prepare for your software development interview. And you'll see all of these are fairly recent and targeted at the target audience, young professionals who are wanting to know how to do this from other young professionals who have done it successfully. Okay, there's even mock interviews that they can do through people from top software engineering companies globally. Okay, so that's stuff that I've pulled in a content path. What's interesting is I just want to look, so okay, where's my pathways that I've created? So smart card is one card that you will create. Okay. A pathway would be something like this, where you have a number of smart cards. Okay, well, this one is just a simple one for now, but let's have a look at, you'll see, here we go, models for design thinking. This is a pathway. That's your design thinking, and in here you'll have a 1, 2, 3, 4 smart card stack. This all becomes a journey, and you'll see it's a combination. Some videos, some text, some quizzes, pre and post assessments, interactive questions, and then you can you can mark as complete, you can leave comments, etc. Okay, so that's an example of content that's already created. Okay, so you'll see I've done something for L&D as well, team leader experience. We have a range of these already developed, but I want to quickly show you how easy it is to create. So we're here to look at curation tips. So remember, we want to know who our audience is, we want to know that it's relevant, and we want to know that it's varied. So I can very easily go, I want to create, and I actually want to create a pathway, which means it's a series of cards. My pathway I want to create is going to be tips and tricks for curation. My description is this pathway helps designers, content curators. I might want to upload a file, which is a graphic or an image for my pathway, which I literally just click on upload, and then I pull a file in, and it pulls it in there for you. My tag, this is learning and development skills. If I want to tag it with a particular skill, I can say this is around training, and it should pull up my training link for me. There we go, training and development. It's in English. It's beginner level. It's private. I don't want anybody else to know about it. I'd like to give them a badge when they're finished. So I want my badge to look like that with this particular title. And off we go. there's my first card in my journey, and then I create the next one and the next one, and then I have my learning journey. And it's really easy. All I have to do is, let's say I want to add a link, you put your link in there and it pulls your content through for you. So when you are interested in coming in onto the platform, for example, we'll do a technical run through with you, but you can see you can bring content in from a trusted website. You can upload your own content in a PDF or SCORM. You can embed surveys, you can embed quizzes, you can embed just a text card, you can embed SCORM projects and live events. So you can run a live learning event via this as well. So that's just a quick run through as to how you can curate that content. But what I wanted to show you quickly, because I know you'd be very keen before the end, is if I can get onto this to show you. So this is the library. I'm busy creating the academy right now. This is the Cisco Skills for All library that we will have access to. So I can have this when I'm curating content as a channel. If you have a look here, remember, like this. So we'll have a Cisco Academy as a channel, and we can go in and it'll be all Cisco. Or I can go to digital skills or contact center job readiness. And I want to ensure that within that channel, the guys know about hardware. I can go to, I can go to Cisco. I can look for the essentials on support technician or hardware or whatever we're looking at. I can take that content that's already on the back end of now the Future Skills platform, and I can embed it in there. And then within my contact center or your work readiness journey or your digital upskilling journey that we create for you in your own group where necessary, which I'll show you quick, you will have access to any and all of that content that you like. So if this is for you specifically, I'll click a group. I create a group. So yesterday I created a demo group. You go into, if you want to see how easy that is, I'll just show you, create a group, you give your group a name, you say what it's about, you add your group leader and admin and members, and off you go. You have a group, which is yours, which is private and only accessible to you. I then create, with very easy tools and guidelines, a group that has got work readiness content, that might have digital work readiness content, that maybe has my MS Office suite content, my Cisco content, my AWS content. And there we go. In my group, Judy's demo group, all of the things that I want have been curated into categories or tabs with pathways and smart cards, assessments, pre and post on the platform for you. And then if you want to see how your platform is performing or how your content is performing, we go into our reporting mechanism. So I don't want this to be a content platform run through. I just want to show you what we said was really important around curating content is understanding how your content performs. And there are certain KPIs around content performance, like, as I said, your completions, your engagement levels, your comments. So if I'm wanting to see how is the content that I've designed performing, and I want to use this to continuously improve and change my content, I go into my content analytics tool, and I'll see, okay, for this month, the top performing content has been these, all right? And this is based on how we have measured what is top performing content. There's your performance metric. So your performance metric could be top performing content by completions, by interest, etc. And you will then see how we, check your content. And then you will take your learning as a content curator from this, and you will see how to improve. What is the top performing, you've got, remember, you've got a channel. There's the performance of your channel. So the top performing channel right now is emerging tech. The top performing journey is GBS team leadership. Okay. These are all the groups that are currently consuming this, and you'll see which groups are enjoying which content, so you can test your fit for audience there. All right. That's it. I think, sure, 1 minute to go, and I want to leave a minute for questions. Please go ahead.
I think we can spare maybe 2 minutes for questions, Julie. If any one of the attendees have any questions they want to ask.
Yeah, please ask questions. You also get great content curation guidelines, and on this platform, there's something called the High Performance Academy, which you get access to, that teaches you around the concepts, the broader concepts and principles of curation, as well as the curation using this particular tool. But please ask any questions for those of you who would like to. Chanel, okay. No hands? Can I just throw a quick, I know I've taken you almost 1 minute over, a quick feedback to the audience question. What do you think around the curation conversation and capability that we've demonstrated? Any takers? Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Annalise. Okay, I'm getting lots of notes in the chat. Thank you for those of you who've popped notes. Please, I'm always available if there's anybody who has any questions. It's been wonderful being able to share this exciting journey with each of you. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Sandika. Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Langisa. Thank you. I'm too scared to pronounce your name incorrectly. Vichilum. Vichilum, is that right? Okay. All right. There we go. Catch you next time. Enjoy learning.
Thank you, everyone. I think before everybody drops off, we just want to remind you, please keep an eye out on the BPESA marketing platforms. That's where we'll be communicating our next webinar, which is going to be in 2 weeks' time on this exact day. No, thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Stay well.